Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I'm incredibly excited about our topic today because it's something that affects literally every single person listening: money management.
Hi everyone! Money. It's one of the most important topics in life, yet so many people struggle with it. And here's what's crazy. Most of us never received any formal education about money. We weren't taught how to budget, how to save, how to invest, how to build wealth.
That's so true. We spend years in school learning algebra, chemistry, history, all valuable subjects, but we graduate without knowing how to manage our finances. Then we enter the real world and wonder why we're struggling with money.
Exactly. And the result is that most people are stressed about money. They're living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, unable to save for the future, constantly worried about unexpected expenses. It doesn't have to be this way.
Before we dive in, let me ask you a personal question, and I want all our listeners to think about this honestly. Do you know exactly how much money you spent last month? Can you tell me where every dollar went?
That's such a revealing question. I'll be honest, a few years ago, I absolutely could not answer that question. I'd look at my bank account at the end of the month and think, where did all my money go? I was earning decent income, but somehow never had any savings.
That's incredibly common. Studies show that only about 32% of people actually track their spending. The majority of people have no clear idea where their money goes each month. They just spend unconsciously and hope there's something left at the end.
And that's the first major problem: lack of awareness. You cannot manage what you don't measure. If you don't know where your money is going, you can't make informed decisions about how to improve your financial situation.
Absolutely. So let's start with the fundamental question. Why is money management so important? Why should we care about this?
Great question. First and foremost, financial stress is one of the biggest sources of stress in modern life. Money problems affect your mental health, your physical health, your relationships, your sleep, your overall quality of life. When you're constantly worried about money, it's hard to be happy or focus on anything else.
Yes, I've experienced this firsthand. When I was struggling financially in my early 20s, I was anxious all the time. I'd lie awake at night worrying about bills. I'd avoid checking my bank account out of fear. That stress affected every area of my life.
Second reason, freedom and options. Good money management gives you freedom to make choices based on what you want, not just what you can afford. Want to change careers, travel, start a business, help your parents? All of these require financial stability.
Third, security and peace of mind. When you have savings, when you're not living paycheck to paycheck, when you have an emergency fund, you feel secure. You're not one unexpected expense away from a crisis. That peace of mind is priceless.
And fourth, building a better future. The money habits you develop today directly impact your future. Are you going to retire comfortably or struggle in old age? Can you help your children with education? Can you handle medical emergencies? It all comes down to money management.
So, the stakes are high. Now let's talk about why money management is so difficult for most people. What are the psychological and behavioral factors that cause us to make poor financial decisions?
Oh, this is fascinating. First, there's instant gratification bias. Our brains are wired to prefer immediate rewards over future benefits. It feels better to buy something nice today than to save that money for retirement 30 years from now.
Yes, this is why dieting is hard, why exercise is hard, why saving money is hard. They all require sacrificing immediate pleasure for long-term benefit. Our brains fight against this.
Second psychological factor, lifestyle inflation. As people earn more money, they increase their spending proportionately. You get a raise, so you upgrade your apartment, buy a nicer car, eat at fancier restaurants. Your income goes up, but your savings don't.
I've definitely fallen into this trap. When I got my first significant raise, instead of saving more, I just spent more. I thought I'm earning more, so I deserve nicer things. But my financial situation didn't actually improve because my expenses increased as much as my income.
Third factor, keeping up with others. We see friends traveling, buying new things, living certain lifestyles, and we feel pressure to match that. We don't want to feel left out or inferior. So we spend money we don't have to impress people we don't even like.
Social media makes this so much worse. We're constantly bombarded with images of other people's purchases, vacations, possessions. It creates this feeling that everyone else is living better than us, which drives unnecessary spending.
Fourth factor, emotional spending. Many people use shopping as therapy. When you're stressed, sad, bored, or celebrating, you spend money. Shopping provides a temporary emotional boost, but it creates long-term financial problems.
And fifth, lack of financial literacy. Most people simply don't understand basic financial concepts. They don't know how credit cards really work, how interest compounds, how to invest, how to budget effectively. This ignorance leads to costly mistakes.
All right, so we understand the psychological challenges. Now let's talk about common money mistakes that keep people broke. What are the biggest financial errors people make?
Mistake number one, not having a budget. This is fundamental. A budget is simply a plan for your money. It tells every dollar where to go instead of wondering where it went. Without a budget, you're driving blind.
Yes, and people think budgeting is restrictive or complicated, but it's actually liberating. When you have a budget, you know exactly how much you can spend guilt-free. You're in control instead of feeling out of control.
Mistake number two, living beyond your means. This means spending more than you earn, which requires going into debt. Credit cards make this easy. You can spend money you don't have and worry about it later.
But that later always comes, and it comes with interest charges that make everything more expensive. If you're consistently spending more than you earn, you're on a path to financial disaster. It's mathematically impossible to build wealth that way.
Mistake number three, not having an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down, medical emergencies happen, jobs are lost. Without emergency savings, any unexpected expense becomes a crisis that requires taking on expensive debt.
Financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in an easily accessible emergency fund. This sounds like a lot, and it is, but it's absolutely essential for financial stability.
Mistake number four, paying only the minimum payments on debt. Credit card companies love when you do this because you'll be paying them interest for years or even decades. A purchase that cost $1,000 might end up costing you $3,000 after years of minimum payments.
If you have debt, especially high-interest credit card debt, paying it off should be a top priority. Every dollar you spend on interest is money thrown away that could have been saved or invested.
Mistake number five, not saving for retirement when you're young. This is huge. Because of compound interest, money saved in your 20s grows exponentially more than money saved in your 40s or 50s. Starting early makes a massive difference.
Let me give you an example. If you invest $200 per month starting at age 25, by age 65, you might have $500,000. But if you wait until age 35 to start, you might only have $250,000. Same monthly contribution, but 10 years makes a huge difference due to compound growth.
Mistake number six, lifestyle inflation that we mentioned earlier. Earning more but not saving more because you keep upgrading your lifestyle. The key is to increase your income while keeping your expenses relatively stable so the gap grows.
And mistake number 7, not investing. Keeping all your money in a regular savings account means it's actually losing value due to inflation. To build real wealth, you need to invest in assets that grow faster than inflation.
All right, we've covered the mistakes. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about solutions and strategies. How can someone actually improve their financial situation starting today?
Perfect. Let's start with the simplest, most effective budgeting framework, the 50-30-20 rule. This is a great starting point for anyone who's never budgeted before.
Can you explain how it works?
Sure. The 50-30-20 rule divides your after-tax income into 3 categories. 50% goes to needs, essential expenses like rent, utilities, food, transportation, insurance. These are things you absolutely must pay.
So, if you earn $3,000 per month after taxes, $1,500 would go to needs. That includes rent, groceries, electricity, water, transportation to work, phone bill, insurance, the essentials.
Exactly. Then 30% goes to wants, non-essential spending that makes life enjoyable. This includes dining out, entertainment, hobbies, subscriptions, vacations, shopping for non-essentials. So in our example, that's $900 per month.
This is where you have flexibility, and you can make choices based on your priorities. Maybe you love traveling, so you spend less on dining out and more on trips. Or maybe you're a foodie who'd rather eat great meals than travel. It's personal.
And finally, 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. This includes building your emergency fund, saving for retirement, paying off debt, investing for the future. In our example, that's $600 per month going toward your financial future.
I love the 50-30-20 rule because it's simple enough to remember and follow, but still provides structure and ensures you're saving. You're not depriving yourself. You still have 30% for fun stuff, but you're also being responsible with 20% going to savings.
Now, this is a guideline, not a rigid rule. If you live in an expensive city, your needs might be more than 50%. If you're in debt, you might need to temporarily reduce wants to 20% and increase savings/debt payment to 30%. Adjust based on your situation.
Great point. Now let's talk about how to actually